So those are the changes. Those are the changes that are out there now. That's what we're doing on it. Any questions?
Chris, when is this going to be effective?
It's effective now. All these rules are in place right now.
Okay.
And these stolen containers that we're trying to waive the per diem on?
Stolen.
But that was, if they were missing.
Stolen's a little bit.
Reported stolen, that one?
Yeah, stolen. This was just a lost container. It was never stolen. It was just simply left at a customer's site. There certainly are rules out there on the stolen containers, and there are provisions for per diem in addition to the depreciated value. A lot of times they allow you to do one or the other, but not always. Depends on the steamship line. Certainly, one of the changes I'd like to see get made in the future to the UIIA is that there should be a maximum amount. You should not be allowed to charge $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for an $8,000 piece of equipment. You know, depreciated value is a lot of money. You pay that, and you still get your equipment to keep. You know, that should be the maximum. We think that, I really think there should be maximums, but right now there are no maximums in place with that.
Did we take their word for depreciated value, the steamship line?
They send us a statement of it, but you know, they all seem to come in about the same amount. You know, no matter who it's from. We've paid a number of these in the past, and sort of no matter who it's from, they tend to be about the same amount. I think if someone came up with a $15,000, $16,000 appreciated value, we'd probably push back pretty hard and get them to prove it to us. But most of the time, you know, your $7,000 to $10,000, I think, is typical of what we're getting. Yeah?
Do they have any provision in there for the steamship lines to provide prior repairs for the same item? I have several in here that I can go back to the Norfolk Southern and pull gate receipts where the outgate on this container is cleaned 5, 6, 7 times in the last year, and the in-gate has the same damage 5, 6, 7 times in the last year.
Yes, the provision for that is that they have to include an actual invoice now, no longer an estimate. In the past, they could say, oh, this is damage that costs $200. Now what they've got to do is they've got to either provide a copy of the actual repair invoice from the vendor, or have all the information, including the vendor name, a specific control number for the repair, the actual items repaired. So if we thought there was an issue of them not doing it, we would be able to, if we could show that we'd have to show that they're falsifying these repair invoices, that they in fact didn't do the repair. But the provision now calls for them to actually repair the box before they bill us. They can't just estimate it and send us out a bill.
But can we ask for an invoice where they bill ABC Trucking and LNN Trucking for the same repairs if we think that...
No, you can't. You know, if we have a clean out gate and a bad in gate and there's an actual repair done, we have to pay the bill. There's no arguing it. I mean, if we have a good out gate, clean out gate, bad in gate, and they actually did the repair, we've got to pay for it. You know, when we take the box out the gate, under the contract, we're accepting responsibility in the condition we put down. And if there's something on there that's not noted, we have to pay for it. You know, some of the gates now have the photo things, which are nice, because you can see the actual condition. But the point of it would be then is more training of the drivers rather than going out the steamship line, is you got to get them to get good out gates, because if they got damage on a box and they're not showing it, they're responsible for it.
What the steamship lines and the rails used to do, Chris, is years ago they used to put old marks and dents on the containers.
Right.
Before they had the scanners and everything else. And then maybe several years ago they did away with that. They didn't accept that anymore. Like I said, I mean, you're right. The drivers just have to do a better than average inspection on the boxes.
Well, that's part of it, but also the steamship lines actually have to do the repair now as well. So they can't just keep charging for the same, unless they're completely falsifying the documents, they can't just keep charging the same repair. They're actually saying they did the actual repair to that box. And if there's a dispute about that, where we think they're lying, then we could certainly try to take it to the panel, but we better be right if we're going to take an accusation of putting in a false repair invoice. We better have something to sort of back it up.
Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
This is not applicable to steamships because here in Atlanta we don't do a whole lot of steamships, but
right.
This is
especially rail, one of the issues that they have here, especially with the CSX, when drivers will note damage or try to note damage to a container, the ramp people will say that's old damage and you can't report it. So they give them a clean out gate. And chances are, not 100%, but when it comes back in, they do a much better job of inspecting, and they'll write up that old damage. And the drivers they don't have any knowledge of what's considered old damage, much less what's acceptable old damage. So, I mean, it's kind of a conundrum for a driver when he's trying to make a legitimate inspection, and the ramp won't even recognize that.
Yeah, because I've certainly heard that before. The issue, though, is they become responsible for it, and it has to be something that the railroad's going to repair. So if you get some old scratches, they're probably not going to repair it, so you shouldn't get an invoice on it. But something bent or whatever, I would absolutely get it marked on it because you are responsible for it. Do we have any examples of where we've gotten bills where we think the bills were unfair?
Oh, sure we have.
Well, I've heard stuff in the past, but they tend to be pretty blatant stuff. The actual bills I've seen haven't been scratches. They've been bent posts and things like that are absolutely going to get repaired. So it'd have to be something that they thought in the past wasn't worth bothering with, and then they thought it was worth enough to go to the shop and get someone to go fix it.
Yeah.
But basically, the answer is it is a little bit difficult, but you got to make sure these guys are getting good outgates, or they get charged for it. You know, we don't have any argument to make that they won't accept the thing, unless we can try to make a case for the dispute panel that says CSX ramp in Atlanta is doing this. They're not going to accept it. And we'd have to make the case specifically that there's a specific ramp that will not let us put damage on the box, and then they are subsequently billing us for that damage.
Chris, that might be a policy throughout the CSX system because they do it at Bedford Park here in the Chicago area. Same protocol. They won't let you write old damage down.
Right.
But then again, now they've got scanners there, so they should catch that.
Yeah, if you got scanners, it's the picture that's going to tell whether it was there before or not anybody writing old damage on the thing. But Dennis, do you have any invoices where you got billed and you're pretty certain it was damage that was included there before you left?
I can't honestly say that we've had it. Some of it's just been blatant outright where the drivers didn't see it.
Right.
There's nothing we can do to defend them. They're screwed. They're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, and again, the nice thing about it now, in the past, one of the steamship lines used to just bill again and again and again and never do the repairs. Now, the damage has to be serious enough that they actually do repair it. So when you're talking about the old damage, it has to be serious enough that they actually go take it and go fix the box, as opposed to just letting it keep running around in the interchange system. Any other questions?
When did you say that the video and audio that you're doing is going to be available to other participants?
Probably tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be real quick.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Great. Hey, guys, remember to turn in your forms for the agents meeting. Looking forward to seeing everybody down in Williamsburg, and thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.